Okay, so last time we left the video as we were preparing the source controllers. So now this is kind of hand normalized source. So if we go here, let's put this on auto, let's press play. So we're trying to see like high age values, which we could have access much easier if we had exported to live, but we haven't. So instead we're just going to punch in the number 0.3, 0.29. I'm just going to do 0.3, and let's go back, let's go inside. So that's 0.3. Okay, so let's adjust our curve, come up here. Okay, and if we hooked up our curve to another color, we can see what's happening. We want everything to start with high value and then eventually die off. So then what we can do is, most likely we can control this. Now is our curve. Let's switch to spline mode so we can have a non-linear fall off. Boom. Okay. Let's copy paste this guy here as well. However, here our age attribute was handmade and it's gonna reach up to 4. So I guess we can do that. And if we visualize that down here, things get darker. Okay, and I think we wanted p-scale to be affected as well. So let's put a byte export in both. So we're going to put a constant, which is going to be the start radius. Okay, let's do it actually like this. Multiply. So we want to promote this. So this is our first input. This is our start scale. Okay, let's say 1, 2 or whatever, and then it will it will get the curve and then export that out as p-scale. P-scale should be somewhere here. Just need to check that it's okay. It's 0 because the default value is like that. So it should get smaller over time. Okay, good. Oh no, we have to do the same thing for the other one. Okay. And now, if we go, don't error me. Okay. If we go in here, display. So why did it start? Why did it start at 11:69? What happened there? It's something to do with the size, I assume. So the other thing that we were assuming from interesting. It's something to do with the size. Okay, so I guess max extrapolation cells. Number of cells to extrapolate. This value is implied by the maximum cell dimensions, distance, how far away the particle system that extrapolate. Well, I'm gonna keep this 1. Whoa, okay. I want, wow, no clue why that is happening. Let's put a real small number. Nope, no effect. Is this about size? how about this? Let's play with this guy. Use max extrapolation distance. Max extrapolate distance. So this is doing something. I'm not entirely sure what these are doing. I'm just going to play with the values. See until I get something nice. Let's try getting a smaller scale source to see how that is going to have an effect. It's more faint. It's more closer to the points. Okay. So now you're saying that's very static. Doesn't make any sense because we don't have any velocities. We're just emitting points. In that space, we don't have anything but dissipation. So we need to get some values together. So to begin with, we need to get temperature and fuel inside. So let's copy paste this guy. Let's call it at temp. And let's go temperature, and the name of the field is also same, so this goes in here. And let's copy paste this. Let's create our fuel, and the same deal here. Fuel, fuel, and we want to bring in the velocities. We can go, we need to call this one this time. Well, V. These are all add additions, but I think we want to bring down the velocity values a bit down. Otherwise, it might be too strong. Okay, so the temperature is coming. We still don't have combustion. It's just we're just visualizing the hot areas yet. Okay, so let's play with our pyro settings. I'm gonna steal this straight from my other scene. So simulation time scale 0.7. Temperature diffusion. I don't want fast diffusion. Cooling rate. I'm slowing it down. I think I wanted the big fireball. I was struggling it. So let's go on the combustion. Enable it. Ignition temperature, easily ignitable. Burn rate 85. Fuel efficiency 3. Okay, I think let's put this to 2 this time. Because what it does is that it defines how much of the fuel is burned and how much is not. So temperature up to 4. I want big expansion, flame height default, smoke. Yeah, create a little smoke. Gas, default temperature. I think I had a fuel advection, maybe no, I didn't. Okay, and then the shape, dissipation. I am not gonna dissipate almost at all. Disturbance, well, 10 disturbance, but it is using the heat field. Control 2, control range 0.1, remap control field. And let's go to turbulence. Shredding 0.5, default settings, turbulence, no, sorry, 0.5. So these are, I want really big swirls, 0.6 grain size, adding some noise. This and that density is 0.5 to 1, that's by default. Let's turn on confinement. I think this should be default. Yeah, I mean, in the simulation scene I have the OpenCL turned on, but that's not for now. And I think I have in my scene a gas wrangle that is clamping velocities, and well, it was, I think I cut corners in the previous one. Instead of trying to get right values, I clamp my velocities to 50 meters per second, and that's how you can do it. So it's gonna update before solving. So it's gonna solve and before solving the next frame, it's gonna clamp those values. So if you have 100 meter per second, it's gonna update it to 50. It's kind of sometimes easier to keep things in control with these kind of limitations. And now we need the obviously the collision objects. Now let's get our collision objects for this secondary sim. I think that because these are volumes, better we cache out the VDBs, and seems like I have already for the other sim. I guess for this one we still have to do it, so let's fetch it from base sim. We can use it because we have this guy here, so we can just do the same thing for him because it's all cached out, right? This guy. Yeah, I think we can just use this all together. So let's create the geo. Now let's call it like this. Let's do this here. Let's call this pop collision. Ship collision. Okay, and because that's one step, and then I'm going to bring in, no, I don't have that for this object. This we're going to do it again just like we did before, because VDB from polygons wasn't helping us with this fantastic model of mine. So what we can do is that we can scatter points again. And what did I do for the values? 1 million. 1 million. And please, Sesi, turn relaxed iterations off by default. It's just slow. Come on. Okay. And now let's create our VDB. But now we need VDB from particles. And I'm going to copy the voxel size to radius scale and turn off the minimum radius. Okay. And I start with a big number. Okay, well that was fairly fast, so let's go small. Let's try to get some decent looking VDB for our collision, for our volumes. Okay, that's went fairly fast as well. Let's go 0.1. Okay, I think that's alright. And okay, so let's give this a file cache. We're gonna cache that out again. So I believe this is the right one. Yeah. Let's call this. What should we call this? We call this base Pyro VDB collision cache. I am really bad at these names. Okay, let's get this guy here. Again, I'm removing all heap names. $F4, and our sim start time was what? I'm gonna put this on manual. 11:55, so we don't need anything to be cached before that. 11:55, and I'm gonna save my scene and send this in the background. Okay. Okay, that's step one, so let's call this null. Let's call it collision proxy VDB out. Okay, and back in the .NET static solver. If you haven't already heard about it, there's a myth about the static solver that I think yet to be answered. So if you got a help of the static solver, you're gonna read something like this. The static solver DOP is a solver which does nothing to its object at each time step. Although the behavior of the object is same as if no solver was attached to the object, it can be next to the solver using switch solver or that. So basically, from what it says, if you're just using a regular static solver without a merge or anything, you actually possibly don't need this. So let's fix that now. Left input, right input, static object. But that's how the default objects come, so we're just gonna leave it as it is. Okay, turn this off. It is indeed a deforming object, and we want to sample a volume for the creation of this collision object. Let's just make this bigger for now. And we want to use volume collisions, and let's go out, go up to where we created this proxy guy, drop it in there, I'll ship collision, drop it in there, and I think we should be good to go now for collisions as well. If this guy's at 19%, we're gonna have to let it go for a while. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do this part, and I'm gonna pause this because I want to play with the settings a little bit to see what's gonna do. Okay, press play. Okay, I would like to see. Okay, I'm just gonna check the density of these fields. Okay, and the way we can check that out is basically we'll need to put a field, the import fields, and let's say I want all this information from this guy. If I click, it should show up here. Open it up, fetch the smoke object, which is the explosion, right? This guy is, and go into the import field, import base pyro, and you have the presets. Switch to pyro. What do we want? I don't want heat and fuel. I won't get rest. I want some of these. If you switch to now primitives, you have your intrinsics, so we can see if you're crazy with the numbers, and we're not 1.83. That's the speed, 25 meters per second. So we're not bad with the numbers, because sometimes you get like 100, 200 because you don't pay attention how you're adding these volumes in here, which is actually important. Okay, so far so good. Let's go maybe a little bit higher res. And where's my fire? Do we have anything? Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe let's make it hotter. Visualization purposes. Okay. It's gonna expand, right? It should expand. Well, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play with the values, because obviously this has been a bit different than my previous version. All these values are going to give completely different results, but So what we should do now is I'm gonna let this continue, because the collision is going to contribute tremendously into the final look of the sim. And as soon as this is done, I'm gonna get back. Okay, so that's cached out, and the sources are cached out. So now the next thing is that I don't think we had the ground yet, so we can get that from the popnet that we used for this guy. Yeah, so let's get this guy. Oops, going on too much. Okay, we can merge these collision objects, and I would like to see that this is indeed working, so I'm going to make it now, let it cook. Okay, I'm going to let it cook like this as well. Okay, we're good. Now if I'm just going to disable this guy for now, I want to see how this is going to work. Super low res. I do want to see if the collision is working or not, which I believe it is. Okay, I think we need to, well, it's hard to tell. Let's give this a ship collision object. Okay, what's all this? I don't need this divine light. Okay. Oh well. See, we have this group because we wanted to. Remember, we create these groups, and now we're a separate passes anyway, and we didn't want to emit temperature when these things hit ground, right? Easy. We're gonna do it like this because we have to. Let's put them all here, right? This is coming from the ship. This is coming from the base. This hits the ground, and I want to put flames on these guys, not on these guys. So let's call this out source base, and let's call this out source ship. And then let's do a little bit of a cleanup again. Well, let's do this here in between. Ideally, even here. Okay, so what do I want to get rid of? Either I really don't need the color. At the moment, I don't need the age. I don't need the ID anymore as it's good. Oh, well, let's do the ID. We can always do things inside the pyro as well if needed. Okay, we don't need anything detailed, but these are empty anyway. Let's copy paste that here. I don't need color, I don't need age, I don't need source prim, I don't need source prim UV, I need temperature, I need dance, I need fuel, I need P scale, and group delete. So let's say, oh, we forgot something. We don't even have to do it like that, but still, cleaning is good. Remember, we brought this into as a second input. So how can we deal with this? Because what we can do is that we can create another data and then create another set of density, temperature, this and that. So there's like 6 more nodes. Or I can merge these guys and then use this, because I have now separate controllers for emission. And also what I can do is that, okay, density, temperature, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define point groups for temperature and fuel. And so basically this guy, let's clean up the groups and create a new group. If you don't need the mouse, here, this guy, I'll get rid of all the groups. Yeah, okay, and then let's call this fuel. Oh my god. Let's call this fuel fire points. Okay, and let's call this combust. Smoke. Okay, so here now this didn't have any groups anyway. So here now I have okay. Here I have combust group, here I have smoke group, and here I have combust and smoke. So now what I can do is I can copy this and paste it in here and here. Wait, this is fuel, this is what? This is velocity. Let's give it a different name. Well, we don't touch this, we want everything to commit into the velocity field, but density we are gonna leave as it is because I want fuel and temperature object to emit density as well. However, I don't want the base geometry points to emit. I don't want them to emit temperature and fuel. So if you press play now, let's put one. This is working, but I want to debug something which is really bothering me. That things are slow. Okay, yeah, you see, so we can see that it's working now. We have fire inside, and we just have dust outside instead of a big fireball. Pretty cool. It's just gonna add more complexity. But let's check something. Since now we got everything here, we want to find out what's hogging down our system and how can we speed up our iterations before we send it on some kind of farm, right? So we will use the performance monitor for this. So what we're gonna do is literally, so for example, no OpenCL. So the first bottleneck will be the disk read. We're gonna fix that, and then we'll try to maybe cache things out, just to see how we can improve. I don't want this. Reset. Okay. Go inside. Say record. Press play. Even this is going to have some viewport impact, but ideally you wanna click somewhere here, do your fixes, go back, click again. Okay, so as you can see, we have some bad numbers. 53% is going to the read back of the solid sim, and 22% of the frame is going to Pyro. That's where you want. And Pyro Solid Sim source ship as well. So what we need is we need to decrease this guy and this guy quite a lot. That's one way to speed up our sim. So let's stop. Let's find this guy. Solid sim cache. Base crash simulation, solid sim cache. We go back, we're gonna see the flags. Oh, right, this guy. So why do we have to read him while he's already cached? Base pyro. Well, we have to read this regardless. Pyro solid sim source ship SOP. Oh, we need to read these as well. Well, I guess we can. Yeah, but we need to read this, obviously. Really can't do anything about it. Unless we can squeeze down the size, maybe? No, that's fine. So we need to figure out why this is being read, because we are referencing somewhere to these sims, which we shouldn't be. I mean, it shouldn't read anything but up here. So it's reading even then, but why? So let's try to figure it out. It could be related. So any data that's coming from outside, right? Could be this guy. So let's see where this is coming from. Out base render. This guy. Okay. So no, it still shouldn't be a problem because it should be coming from here. Maybe if we change our tracker, not to track anything. And then we lose the bounding box. Okay. We have an error. There we go. So why I don't have my bounding box? Okay, something broke here. SRT, SRC, PTS ship. Why is it? Let's change that to we renamed it. Yeah, but the because I think we renamed something that broke. So obviously our bounding box calculator must work out of the box. Otherwise we lose the container. So let's update that. Okay, so now let's try again without this guy. And it's gonna again. Okay, let's put him back. Okay, let's track it, but let's move it to maybe this guy. Which one is the faster? This one's not so fast. This one has less. Okay, let's plug this guy then. Here. It's just the purpose for tracking container. Okay. Now we are still trying to figure out why we're reading that big red noise file object. This guy is reading attribute create 2 from, but this shouldn't be, these shouldn't be time dependent. So it's reading what? This guy. It shouldn't be time dependent. No, so as long as it's not time dependent in a simulation, a source is not time dependent, we basically don't need deforming geometry and we shouldn't worry about it because it shouldn't take too long to cache. So the other guy is the ship. So the ship might be causing us problem. Out ship collision. Let's check this guy. this one, which we have a cache for, which we are reading indeed. But I don't understand why this guy is going red. Okay, because that's the slowest to read. Even this one, I don't know why we're reading it. Okay, let's give it another go. Are these cached out as well? They are. Right, 1141. Maybe. Oh no, because are similar. This guy is definitely not using any of those. Let's try again. Let's try from here. Let's do a record. Press play. Pyrosolid SimSource ship. Pyrosolid SimSource ship. That's that and that. So that's heavier. That's reading. Okay, so that's at this stage we don't have any request from any other SOP, and which means that we probably can't speed this guy up if we ditch some points. How many points we sent? 7,000. How does this load? 27,000. So if we get rid of 1/3 of them, it could be interesting. Okay, we're gonna go back into here and try to figure out why our node is taking too much time. So let's go stop, start, press play. Solid sim cache. Okay, yes, it's loading. For some reason it's trying to get into my .NET and I am not sure why. Unless this is locked. It's not locked. Why? Who is calling? Okay, let's turn on the dependency connection, which they moved. Now it's harder to find. Let's here show selected nodes. Okay, okay, this guy goes here, this guy goes here, and it doesn't go anywhere further down. And I am definitely not using. Okay, so it goes down here obviously, but this is cached, makes no difference. Is it 1155? It is. Base pyro collision, let's check the frames. Base BDB 1155 to 1271, missing 13 frames at the end, but that's fine. Okay. How about if we, I don't understand, you are not linked to anywhere. Why are you trying to go into my simulation? Unless this is not cached, but doesn't matter because this is cached and the load is on. This is also on. Okay, this is very strange. It shouldn't be doing that. Unless I must be calling it from somewhere, because it really doesn't make any sense at all. Nothing here, of course, nothing here, unless something here, no, nothing here, nothing here. Oh my god. Okay, let's try something else. I'm going to save the scene. I'm going to bypass that node. And it's trying to calculate. Okay. Somewhere something is stuck. And the way we're gonna possibly find that out is, okay, definitely not this one. No, 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 no. This is the same view. object modes. No, no. I don't have any other anywhere else, any other node anywhere else. If I go inside, hide other objects. That's when I wish someone would say, hey Tim, man, you got the flag on somewhere. It would really help. Cooking base, solid SIM cache. Okay, it's still loading. It shouldn't be loading. Let's try again. It's loading, and this simulation would be twice faster if it wasn't loading, because it's taking half of the CPU time. And oh my god, it's gonna drive me crazy. Terrain hills, low alt collision between. No, it's not from here. Terrain hills, no, it's not from here. It's not from here. It's not from this guy, but let's try it anyway to see if somehow related. So I'm just gonna turn off ship collision, record, press play, virus ships. So it is still trying to load. It is still trying to load it. So it's not at velocity. Are you not? No, these guys are not related. They always look for the first input because of this, which is this. Let's turn on this guy so it can re-evaluate if we need sub steps. Okay. Very suspicious, and that is why I'm going to save and reopen my scene. There must be some flag, something I forgot somewhere. And I don't have Facebook running, so it should be fine. Okay, let's maybe start it on menu. Open. Okay, now we should be in a better shape now. Hopefully. Go straight inside. Good. This is good. And this is not doing anything that I would like it to do, but I think it's still trying to load it. Performance monitor. Okay. Press play. Why are you reading this file, man? Maybe one of the read notes is broken. But then I don't understand. Okay, let's select this guy, and then let's turn on the okay. Oh, there we go. Alt ship collision. Okay, I'm gonna ditch that, and that's gonna make a world of difference. Okay, I hope, I mean, let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. Now we have some speed. What we are gonna do is, okay, let's maybe put the caching back. Actually, we don't need that. Let's decrease the quality a little bit. I mean, decrease the voxel size, and maybe I want to No, I can directly control this from my emission settings. Let's decrease the scale a little bit, and over time it diminishes anyway. And if you press play, what happens? Let me put the points back to default mode. My default mode is pixels. And okay, I think I can turn on, well, we don't have the geo anymore. We removed it so it looks, so it calculates faster. But I do want to check if we have the fields working. It's taking a while to calculate, to draw the collision guide. It issues that. Excuse me. Okay. Well, it's quite ugly, but for our tutorial purposes, it's going to serve its purpose. Okay. And the other day that we could, as I mentioned before, to check if the collision is happening, is that you turn on the collision field and it's going to start drawing some surfaces, but this is really kind of not working. So maybe we can increase, we can give it an offset to the surface. Press play. That looks dodgy. Maybe we need okay, let's try to make this a little better before we continue. Okay, let's go to this guy. I want to visualize what that translates back into in terms of, let's go maybe a little bigger. VDB convert. To polygons. Okay, so this is not so bad, but I think maybe VDB smooth. Not VDB smooth, VDB STF smooth. Smooth STF. STF smooth. One iteration. Bigger, maybe. Okay, that looks a bit blobbier, but well, it's not that bad actually. Okay, let's that's 42 megabyte down to 7.8. That's not so bad. Let's cache this out. And save to disk. I'm going to let this run and it'll continue from there. Okay, so our VDB is cooked now, and we are going to play some parameters and cache out our volume simulation. So we need to check if our collision geometry is working, which it is, and I'm just going to bring this up to some higher value before caching. So this seems to be working. Did we change any settings meanwhile? Let's check them one by one based on my previous scene. This is correct. Add fuel. Add fuel. This is also correct. And the temperature, yeah, as it is good. And add density, it is good. Gas resize fluid, that is fine. Pyrosolver, we didn't change anything except for caching. I turned this on because I have quite a lot of cores. I would ideally use the GPU OpenCL if I have a 1080 Ti. I think that will be much nicer. Okay, so this setting seems to be legit, and now we're gonna fetch this information out. But I also want so in case I want to have post detailing or displacement, I want to turn on rest field. So on the smoke object under initial data, there's a rest field option which you want to turn on, which creates the rest field. It doesn't do anything else. And then on the pyrosolver, under the I think advanced, you have the enable rest, which you should also turn on, and we're gonna leave them by default. So now let's cache this information out. Drop in a import fields, go by default pyro. So density, velocity, rest 1, rest 2, temperature, heat, fuel. Okay, I don't think I need fuel, but well, normally I don't use the heat as well, but this time I'm going to use it in case it comes handy during shading more than just temperature, because I'm going to do additional detailing as well. Sample. I'm going to again half the quality of the velocity field. But this needs to cook a frame, right? Oh, and we have to tell, of course, the DOP import fields to go and fetch the smoke object from the simulation, because you might have more than one type of object. That's why we need to tell DOP import to get the proper information out for caching. Okay, let's go velocity. I want the resolution to drop by 0.5 scale. So here it is 5. Let's go frame. Let's go one more. So here it is. Where is it? 887, and here it should be half amount of voxels, which is gonna save space. Okay, and now we need to create a mask from this, right? Which we did before. Actually, I think we can just copy it, paste this, because we already did it. So let's go to, where did we do it? We did the ship smoke. Here is the same, and we did it down here. So let's just grab that part. So let's grab all of this. And let's paste it down here. And if I look down here now, I should be seeing what I need to save, as long as that last stage is correct, which is indeed correct. Then we're gonna, I already cached this out, so I'm gonna select the proper one because I just did the copy and paste now. And I did learn something today based on the slowness of my disk, because my caches were on the Windows partition, even though that's an SSD as well. Things were quite slow in comparison to an Linux file format SSD, which the operating system is on SSD that has a Linux file system, and the performance difference was quite a lot. And then I did some more research and enabled and disabled some stuff for the Linux SSD files, and then I gained a bit more, and I have actually, and now I've been so I have, this is my Windows partition, and then this is my Linux partition, and I do so this was around 490, 500. Now it's pretty much maxing out what Samsung SSD can do, and that's why I moved some of the caches to my home folder, VFX Caches Geo, and now we need to find the latest one. Where is it? 19th of February. It's this one. And this is, we just need to change the start frame 11:55 for caching again. We leave it 11:55, and if I now load this, so I already cached it out before I went to sleep, and let's put a volume visualization. And maybe we put 10 here, change it to black body. This red usually doesn't look good, so I'm gonna put this to some hot orange. Let's increase the density, maybe. Let's press play what comes out. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. So I did a play blast of this as well. We have some stepping issues. I guess we can improve the simulation by playing with substeps. And I have the play blast version here, which I'm going to show. The rest is some really good shading. It's a bit too flamey at the end, but I guess we can adjust. We'll do one more video at the end, how to play with these settings, what kind of means what, where. Okay, thank you for watching this episode as well, and next we will continue on I guess creating, I think we skipped before creating a volume scene for the mountain tip RBD, where we had the crash happening, we had the particles, but I don't think we ever made the volumes, which I think we should. Okay, thank you.